3, 4,
Four,
5,
five,
6.
six.
We're live.
We're fucking live, so we'll do it now. It's episode 207 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture. I'm your host, Brian Barnett.
I'm Joshua Mobley.
I'm Chris Shriver.
You did that a lot slower than normal.
I know, a lot less hype.
Normally it's like you're auctioning off like a horse or something, but this time it was like...
Hey, you know what it's episode 200.
Sound like Hank Scorpio.
Yeah.
But for the very first time, we are coming to you recorded as 3 gents that are myriad.
Yeah?
Boom.
For Shriver with the ring.
One ring to rule them all.
Yeah. What kind of ring did you get?
I
was
keep
super
asking me
boring.
this, and I never remember. It's the one that I can cut off, and I don't have to lose a finger.
That looks like tungsten.
I
Is
think
it
it's
not?
I think
Because it's cheap or because it's soft metal?
tungsten.
Yeah,
if you
tungsten.
get titanium, they can't cut it off if it gets too
Oh,
small.
really?
Yeah, and then you're just
Mm.
like
They
you're
can't.
locked in.
They can't cut. I also got a tungsten wedding ring, although I've since abandoned it for a silicone one that I like way better.
Yeah.
But they can't cut tungsten either, but they can put a vice grip around it and crunch it, and it just shatters to pieces.
Oh.
So they actually,
Probably hurt your finger, but
I mean, maybe a little bit, but you
Probably.
get to keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better
Which is-
than
you get to
cutting
keep
it
your
off.
finger, yeah.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
also hurts.
You know what? I can't stand.
It hurts
I honestly,
to keep a finger.
I said or cutting it off, which also hurts.
yeah.
Yes, very true.
I don't mind having it at all. The thing that I do mind, and I don't know if it's because it's too tight. Jess seems to think that it is, as I struggle to get it off my finger. When you wash your hands, when you have a Band-Aid on,
Yep.
and then it
Yep.
gets all like old man.
It gets all gross underneath.
Yeah, and I'm like, I want to dry it. Like I keep
Yeah.
wanting to dry it, but like
Yes.
my
You need to get a slightly looser ring then, because I always push mine up a little and dry that area and then
yeah.
push it back down.
So that's what I've been
So-
doing. But like my dad has had the same wedding ring for like 46 years or however long they've been together.
Yeah.
And like he's just like, yeah, it doesn't move. Like it doesn't come off. Like it's
it
just
doesn't move.
yeah. Like that's just
So
how he does
if
it.
he takes his ring off, his finger is already dead underneath.
It's gonna
Yeah,
be
like,
like
if you-
it's gonna be
if
like
he
a pale white ring,
yeah, like if he
around
does
there.
it, like that part of his finger like looks completely different than the rest of his hand.
That's because it's
I
younger.
would
It has not
assume.
been exposed to the sun. It's a mole
Yeah.
person.
A
you know.
mole person.
And I'm like, do I
Okay.
just do that? Like become that guy? I don't know.
become what you
So-
were born to be?
Yeah.
So I will tell you, I also had that problem with a metal ring for a while.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple of different sizes of rings, a couple of different styles of rings. Like I had a huge one like you had, and then I had like a really thin one, basically like the one that I have now, except metal.
Yeah.
Still tungsten. And then I moved actually to a silicone ring that was perforated that had like holes in the sides, and then it like aired out, and like I didn't have that problem. And I never have that problem with this one, even though this one isn't looser. So I think it's just like finding the right one. Which thankfully all the rings that I got were like $20-$30, something like that. Like
Yeah.
none of them
Mine
were.
was like $32.
Yeah, none
'cause,
of them were
you know,
expensive, so replacing them to try out new ones wasn't a big deal.
And that's kind of
Yeah.
what I think is going to end up happening. Like little by little, I'll like if I see
Yeah.
one, I'll be like, oh okay, and I'll like pick one up.
Yeah, like
but-
the first one I bought was too big.
Yeah.
And it was just like super annoying. It was like spacing my fingers out too much. I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta get a smaller one. And somebody was like, you could return it, and I'm like, $30, who cares?
yeah,
So I have
like,
that one I just have in my like night, my whatever bedside table
right.
drawer as like a backup in case I lose this one. But this one's smaller and it fits perfectly, but I can just slide it off if I want.
Sure.
But if I
Yeah.
shake my hand, it doesn't come off. That's the good test, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't
If you-
expect things I didn't expect about the wedding. I didn't expect to come home with so many. So like we had like hotel bags that we gave people like if they stayed at the hotel that like we had our reception at. And I didn't expect to come home with so many. So like now I have like Ziploc bags of all of the things that came in it. So I have like this chapstick. Like I have like 30 of these now. Like there's so many random things, like Tums. Like I don't need to buy all these like random things like for a really long time. But that was
sometimes that's nice. One year for Christmas, Nicole and I asked my uncle for toilet paper, and he thought we were kidding, and we were like, "No, we just want like a pallet of toilet paper." And he bought us like just this gigantic Costco, I don't even know thing.
Yeah.
And it lasted for 8 months.
Wow.
Like it was great. It's so like if you're a child, you're like, this is the most boring gift ever. But when you're an adult, you're like, I don't have to buy,
I don't have to go out and get this thing.
Yeah, I don't have to buy X, Y, or Z like randomly. That's amazing.
And then you level up and you're like, Uncle, buy me a bidet, and then you never have to buy toilet paper.
We're looking into getting one for the house because I'm like, we're gonna level up everything in our life. Go to the bidet now.
Yeah.
So we're looking at it right now.
That was a game changer.
I know I mentioned this earlier when it actually happened, but we got a bidet at the beginning of the pandemic, and never before has a better decision been made, because right around this time, we hit just before, it was like when you get to the restaurant and you're like, wow, I can't believe there's no line. And then you get in line, you begin ordering, and then you turn around and there's 13 people behind you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, I literally, we just beat the rush. Yeah. We got our bidet, and like that week there was a run on toilet paper, and then all the bidet companies were like sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was nuts.
We had bought one, or I think maybe Jess bought me one. We had one that I had bought when we were at the apartment, and I was like, I want to install this, and I was like, you know what, I shouldn't do it here, like, you know, because we're not going to be here forever. And it was just in the box. It was this like $20 thing. And I ended up right around COVID, like when like the toilet paper shortage was happening. I was like, oh my God, this is it.
It's the time.
And
break glass in case of emergency.
What's crazy is like how much they jacked up the price of them. Like now, if you look at them, I don't know. Well, I don't know if it's still the case now, but there was a point where they were like $150 for like an add-on thing that cost them probably like $10 to make.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I don't blame them.
But yeah, anyway, I wanted to congratulate you, good sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
So
yeah, it was
very exciting.
It was a great day. Jess looked beautiful. I looked okay. There's pictures on my Twitter, and Instagram and Facebook if you are friends with me on there. I know Harry is. Hi, Harry. Harry's in the chat.
I'll have to hunt those down.
Coming down the aisle to the Kingdom Hearts theme.
Yep. Yeah, Jess walked down to Kingdom Hearts. I walked down to Somewhere in Time. My groomsmen walked down to Spirited Away. The bridesmaids walked down to Tifa's theme. And
it's a good one.
What was the other one?
Ring Bearer walked down to Under the Rotten Pizza.
Yeah. What was the other one? Oh, we had The Roost as the processional from Animal Crossing, which is like the song that plays in the coffee shop.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. But there were a lot of songs that, like, if you knew it, you were like, oh. But, like, otherwise, you're like, this is a very beautiful piece. Like, we tried to make it so it wasn't, like, incredibly obvious that it was from a video game.
So you didn't have, like, any weird, like, stingers that were like, whack, 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 whack.
Yeah. There was no Banjo-Kazooie at our wedding. No Banjo-Kazooie.
The priest opens his mouth and it's like...
Actually, in a surprise to everyone,
Will Smith's getting jiggy with it.
Yeah. In a surprise to everyone, my dad actually officiated the wedding.
Oh,
that's cool.
We didn't tell anybody about that. But like we were up there, and then there was like no one like to start the service, and like we did this thing where like I looked down and he was like sitting right in front of me. I was like, "Yo, you gotta get up here." And me? Yeah.
Nice.
My brothers were like, "What the hell?" Like it was pretty cool.
Big old like boom sound.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
But
yeah, you got married just in time for the 20th anniversary.
That's right.
Of Halo.
Yeah, we got to talk about that this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of
happened. Stuff. I did not expect that.
Yeah.
Well, I did when all the data leaks started happening the weekend before. There were a bunch of people that found things on like SteamDB that like the listings started popping up.
I know the pre-install went up early, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, but whatever. And I didn't think anything of it. And then right when the stream was starting, my boss was like, yeah, there's rumors that they're gonna launch the multiplayer like in the next hour. And I was like, they're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
And then lo and behold, it happened.
They did.
And I was like, oh my god, they actually did it.
Yep.
I literally ran up.
So good.
Yeah,
Like,
I was working at my desk and I ran upstairs and I was like, Audrey, Halo, it's out now. Like, we're gonna play the multiplayer. And she's like, okay.
all right, cool.
And I'm like, I thought you'd be excited. She's like, I am excited. It's just I have to work now.
Yeah, I can't do anything right now, so I have to wait.
Yeah, I think I played like 2 games at lunch that day, and then I played that night for a couple hours.
Yeah, I did.
We
too.
definitely played that night for a couple hours, and like the moment afterwards, she was like, "Can you like get it installing so that we're ready to go after we get off?"
Can you
work?"
like hurry up?
It was a sprint to get to get through the workday and get everything done so that we could play. And then we've been playing almost every night since then.
Nice.
And even to the point where like we talked today about like I finished Far Cry 6 today, finished the IGN guide for it today after having looped around to Call of Duty Vanguard and then come back to it and stuff like this. And my next project is Halo, and I was telling Audrey, I was like, I wonder if campaign progress is going to be saved between Steam and Xbox, and maybe I can split up, where I play what game, like where I can play it for work and all this sort of stuff, and then we can play together and it'll be separate. And she just kind of like was like, you know what, I was thinking, about that and about the campaign today, and I was like, I think I'm good. And I was like, wow,
like she doesn't want to do the campaign.
What a crazy evolution. She's like, she can wait because she's having
okay.
so much fun with multiplayer.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy. She's gone full circle from, she started the first time she ever played Halo, and we were sitting on the couch last night, and she's like, can you believe? Because I was in Austin for my friend's bachelor party during the Destiny pre-event where they had you had to go to the moon, and if you played during this period, you'd get like some bonus or something.
Yeah.
And that was back when I was super into Halo, or super into Destiny and stuff like that. And so she had done that for me, and she was terrified because like a high priest came up and summoned a bunch of the zombies, and she doesn't play shooters and never did, and so she was like terrified of this whole thing. And she looked at me last night and was like, "Can you believe that I got scared on the moon? Like that I was scared on the moon, and now I'm getting killing frenzies and yard sales with energy swords and multiplayer and capturing the flag." And holding the oddball for the entire match myself and surviving.
Yeah.
And like getting all these things, she's got a positive kill death ratio now in most games.
Wow.
Like that we play, which is like impressive. And we did ranked. We did ranked ranked.
Oh my god, ranked was so brutal day one.
Yeah, I mean it was still pretty brutal this week because
it's calmed down.
Always drop out, and then you are down a person and you inevitably lose, but very slowly. It sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was crazy where she was like, man, like, go figure. She started by playing for me in Halo 5, and now we've played through every game multiple times. I think Halo 1, she said, is her favorite game ever. And now here we are, Infinite, full circle, and she's just like playing multiplayer all the time.
I still think
when I'm
Halo
busy,
1,
she's just like, I'm playing it myself.
Yeah. I still think Halo 1 has the best AI out of all of them. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because you can't understand them and like that it's just tricking my brain, but I feel like they're smarter in that game. I don't know why.
Interesting. I mean, I haven't played the campaign yet for Infinite, so I can't really speak to that.
Yeah,
but the multiplayer AI is really good.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Infinite,
the multiplayer is so good. Like, you guys know me. Like, I don't play a lot of multiplayer games. Period. And it's honestly like, other than Pokemon right now, it's the only thing that I am like thinking about constantly in the back of my mind of like, can I be done this thing so that I can go play Halo? And I feel like if they fix the progression, which I don't know if they have, I haven't played since last week because of the wedding. If they've
patched it since last week to make it easier and to make some of the weekly challenges easier, and to make it so that you always have one goal that is finish a match that gives 50 XP. So you always,
Yeah.
at the end of a match, you always get something.
But is the
Yeah,
hill still as steep as it was?
I think so. I think they
Yeah,
just made the challenges easier.
Yeah, I think one of the big problems with it right now is basically is the battle pass, and not in its like purchasability or whatever, because like being able to just have it forever made me buy it immediately. Like the first thing I did when I logged in was buy it. But
Yeah.
I know that it's slow as hell. Like I played after those like 4 hours that first night, I was only battle pass like level 2,
That's what I mean.
and it's
Like
like kind of brutal, you know?
the amount of time that like you sink into this, and it's like,
I
okay,
think I'm
like
still only like level 6 or 7.
I think it's because I'm getting like flashbacks from. Sorry, there's like something in my eye. I think I'm getting like flashbacks from Destiny, where it's like, you can sink
You're grinding
13,
it out, yeah.
13 hours into something, and it's like, I feel like I should have something to show for this, and you just don't.
You just don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
And if you don't buy the battle pass, you really don't have anything
Yeah.
to show for it.
And
Right.
it's also not as passive as like the Master Chief Collection ones were, where you're just like playing. Like there are
like
missions and stuff to do, but like it felt like it went a lot faster.
Yeah, like Master Chief Collection, I would play for fun, and then like the Battle Pass was almost an afterthought, where it was like, I'm playing this because I want to play Halo.
Well, you also didn't pay for them, and they were just kind of there, you know.
Sure, but like even when I would go into it, it always felt like there was something there for me to grab or to what's the word I want, to like acquire, like just like I had the points or whatever, and like you go into that page and it's like, here's everything that you've earned.
Yeah.
And it goes through that, or I think in Master Chief, wasn't it, you had so many credits and you could like basically purchase different items
It
with
was every time you leveled up, you got a credit,
yeah.
and then you could use that credit on any of the battle passes. You had to unlock them in order. Like if you went to, if the new season came out, you couldn't go all the way to like the track 100 thing and be like, I'm gonna buy the coolest thing here. You had to
Right.
go down the actual track, but you could be like, oh, on season 3's, like I'm about to get this cool like warthog skin, so I'll spend my credit there or
But
whatever.
it's still like it felt like you were at least getting items like this.
Yeah.
This I feel like I'm like, all right, I played for 4 hours and
There also aren't a lot of items right now.
Yeah.
Like the battle pass actually has a lot. It has tons of like Halo Reach stuff on it, but
Yeah, because
it just takes so long. Like
a long time ago,
So if you buy and I haven't bought it yet, but like if you buy the battle pass, what happens?
It unlocks one additional weekly goal that you can have.
Okay.
It lets you use all of the stuff up to your current level and that you level up. If you don't, the reach specific items that are like, there's like the Noble Team Spartan suit that you get immediately, but then there are certain upgrades that are only equipable, or certain like visors or accessories that are only equipable with the Noble Team Spartan armor, and then there are some that are only equipable with the like stock armor. So like right now I have like the brace, the reinforcing brace that can only be used with my Noble suit, and I have like, I think a chest piece for the Noble suit, and then I got like one visor for the regular stock suit, and that's kind of it. And I'm like level 7.
Yeah.
So, and then you also, as you level up, you get like you get the swap items and the consumables that boost your EXP. But I'm not really sure what boosting your EXP for the next hour does, other than like just give you more experience when you complete challenges.
I would assume that's what it does.
Which seems lame.
It's like not that great, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And one thing that Audrey brought up that I hadn't really thought about, because I didn't really think about this that much. The one thing that I did think about is like, well, I am gonna play this on Game Pass on the campaign, and I am gonna get a key for this game. What do I want to do on this Battle Pass thing? Because I don't love the idea of just like constantly dumping $10 in, and I don't like the idea that like you don't passively get premium currency from playing. Like, I think it would be cool if every level you got like, I don't know, 50 credits of premium currency or 100 or something like that, so that like after you've played a bit, you can just buy the battle pass with the stuff that you've earned from playing.
Right.
Like I wish you could do that instead of nope, you have to pay $10 to get it, which like is whatever, but also reaches like something that I really enjoyed. Like before now,
Yeah.
and who knows how I feel about Infinite.
But
Reach is like maybe my favorite of the Halo games. So like
It-
I want to have that armor. So that's why I ended up doing it.
Yeah.
I would say also it's not like a Destiny situation where there's like content associated with it that you just are not allowed to do when
No,
you
it's,
don't
it's
unlock
just
it.
cosmetics.
It's just cosmetic. So if you look at a pass and you're like, I don't really like the stuff on here, you don't have to buy it, really.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
And you're still playing the game. You can still play all the game.
Yeah.
Right. Right. It just comes down
just-
to what, like, how badly do you want this item, and are you willing to pay for the extra time it might take you to get it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically.
But one thing, like I was saying earlier, one thing that Audrey brought up that I hadn't thought of is, hey, if I do really well, like, does that help me? And the answer is no, basically. Like, because I got an achievement for what was it, like score over 2,000 points in a match, and I was like, sweet. And afterwards, I just got the same experience and level ups and progress as I would have if I did literally nothing the whole match except run around and do nothing.
Which I feel like could be.
And that doesn't feel good.
Yeah, I feel like that could end up, if it's not already, being a problem. People like just. I mean, Destiny did the same thing. People did it where they would just queue up and go into whatever match. I don't know if Halo kicks you for an activity. I imagine it does, but
I imagine it does.
yeah, I mean
but
that was a huge problem in Destiny 2, in certain missions.
But all that said, like it still feels better than almost anything I've played in a very long time.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
It's one of those things like Metroid Dread where it's just like moving around in this world is awesome. Fighting all of these things are awesome. And
Yeah.
what we're fighting are just other people or bots. And it's great. The weapons are really good. I really like the new weapons. I don't love all of them, but like I pretty much like all of them to a certain extent. Some of the new weapons are like freaking ridiculous. The whatever it is, the incinerator cannon or whatever, or the what is it? It looks almost like it's
The
it looks almost
Sentinel
like
beam?
the box.
It almost looks
Truck.
like a brute.
No, it's the top loading single shell thing. You load it like a shotgun, but it shoots these like bouncing fire explosions.
Oh, those. Yeah.
That gun rips ass.
I like that
And
one.
If you want to kill more people than you can even with the rocket launcher, use that thing.
Yeah. I also like the assault rifle, the fact that it can zoom, which I think I brought up during the test flight. I just like using that. And like people, myself included, shit on the AR a lot in Halo, because it's like, all right, here's the gun that you start with, but like don't actually use it.
Get rid of it. Yeah.
I feel like
it's good though.
Yeah, I feel like if you do use that zoom and like really take advantage of it, you can get a lot done. But the one that's like a lightning cannon,
That gun
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah.
you don't like that gun?
No.
No, all right.
If you have good aim, it's good.
Yeah, I like it a lot, but I'm playing on PC and
I mean, I'm playing on PC also, and I just feel like I can't hit the broadside of a barn with it.
oh,
I can hit vehicles with it, which feels good, but
Yeah.
every time I think I've hit maybe one person ever with it,
how do we
and
feel?
I'm like,
How do we feel about the Hornet,
The
Barnett.
the vehicle?
like the floating.
The Wasp?
The Wasp, yeah, the
I
Wasp.
haven't
all right.
I haven't even driven one yet.
I was shooting a Banshee with one the other night, and I was strafing backwards, staying out of its bullet path, and
Yeah.
it was strafing, and like to me, it looked like it was shooting just past me.
Yeah,
Except then I fucking exploded, and I was a
say
little
that's
annoyed.
because that's how
by
you
that.
shoot that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no,
I-
that thing.
yeah.
If you're good with that, like you can do some serious damage on the opposing team, or get if you're on the receiving end of it, like you're gonna have a bad time.
Every time I destroy one of those things, I get a killjoy, which says something.
Oh yeah, like you can get a ton
Like-
of kills in that thing.
Everybody in that thing is on a spree of some sort.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
flown one. I always
It's
see
good.
them in the air coming at me, and then I'm just like, well, time to
time to
destroy
die.
that.
Time to
Yeah, or die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Halo's
I'm
good.
Halo's good. And it's
Surprise,
free.
surprise.
So
It's definitely going on my even
I-
apart from the campaign, it's definitely going on my favorites of 2021.
I
list.
can't wait for this campaign. I will say.
Yeah.
I was afraid that it wasn't gonna work well, like that first week, but it's been fine.
You know what?
That's been great.
They've done enough tests.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. They're no
Yeah.
strangers to online multiplayer. Like if this was a Nintendo game, I think we'd all be like,
Nothing works.
we'll see.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because we all said it here, and I know that a lot of our industry colleagues also said it. Like, people on Unlocked or other Xbox podcasts saying like 343 has to put up. They have to put up or shut up because this is their fourth attempt if you count the Master Chief Collection, which you should.
You absolutely should.
4, 5, Master Chief, and Infinite. This is their fourth attempt, and all of those were messes to varying degrees. I think that before this, I think that 4 was their biggest success, but then the story in 5 was not good. It had tons of potential, but it just was squandered.
Yeah.
And then the Master Chief was a mess for a very long time. And the state that it's in now is pretty good. I still don't think that
it's
it's
still
like
technically in a beta, if you want to call it that, air quote.
which is wild.
Yeah.
But then, Infinite playing in the, multiplayer flights and then now playing it in beta, which whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, like
It's
how
not
much
a
is
beta.
this
Come
going
on.
to change? Like,
It's not.
yeah.
And
Not
it's
at
out.
all. I mean, it feels fine.
Yeah.
They're charging people
Fine for a long time.
not in beta. The game is out.
Yeah.
And then it's really coming out with the campaign on December 8th. And by all accounts, like Halo, like a lot of the headlines are like Halo is back. Like this is, and like I feel it. I feel it in my bones. Like Chris was saying, like this is the thing that we do now. And I think I tweeted about this, but like since Halo's multiplayer went live, Audrey and I coordinating what we are doing each night is separated into 2 categories: Halo and other. And it's usually Halo or Halo and other, typically.
Yeah.
There's some form of Halo happening every night at our house. And whether it's literally me hearing the floor shaking above me right now as Audrey plays on the Series X, or whether we're playing together with me on my laptop playing, next to her, or down here at my freaking battle station or whatever. It's happening, and it's been super, super fun. It's been great to improve and have that just... We would talk a lot about the extrinsic rewards of the Battle Pass, but the intrinsic rewards of just playing the game and getting better at it and seeing your stats afterwards and be like, wow, I got like 20 plus kills that match and I didn't die very much, or these sorts of things. Or like, wow, I captured 2 of the 3 flags that we needed to win. And we did it, Like, just that feeling is so good of just doing the thing. And I think the best, when games are at their best, is when just doing the thing feels amazing. And that's what we have. So it's awesome. 2
things I want to touch on before we move off of this. Do you guys think, do you think it's too slow? Like the movement is too slow?
No.
No,
I feel pretty good about it.
I love what they've done. I think it's the best it's felt since Reach. In IMO. I asked because a buddy of mine, I was talking to him at the wedding about it a little bit, and he was saying he was like, I wish it was more like 5 because 5 was so fast paced and like 5 was like almost like a blend of Halo and Call of Duty. This is much more of a return to form. Yeah. And I think what's interesting about that observation is that people that are fans of 5 and if they really vibed with that one, they're kind of screwed. Because this seems like it's going to be like the game for the generation. Like for this generation.
They've said
Xbox
this is the
consoles.
next 10 years of Halo.
That's what I mean. So if you don't like this game, like you kind of don't have a Halo other than Master Chief Collection or one of or or 5. Like, there's nothing for you to look forward to other than potential updates that they have coming. Depending on what they let you tweak and don't let you tweak. It was just an interesting thing, I think, because I was like, I'm loving it. Like,
if you loved jumping up into the air and doing that Spartan like ground pound thing, like that just doesn't.
It's not there.
Exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sucks, and like I definitely understand that. I'm not in that camp, but
I'm not either.
It's definitely the thing of like what we've talked about with Metroid or with Final Fantasy or things like this, where it's just like the franchise just kind of left. It's kind of left me. You know what I mean? Like if you loved first person Metroid, like you were eating for a while.
Yeah.
And now that 2D is back, and I've always been like, I feel like you should have both. Like people for whom Mario Odyssey is their favorite game, that's fucking awesome. It's not for me. Yeah. And so I'm glad that I still get stuff like Mario 3D World or 3D Land or like the 2D Mario games. Like I think we should just get both.
Yeah.
But in this instance, you kind of can't.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can go back and play 5. I don't know how many people are playing 5, but like you can't move to the new stuff, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. The other piece of it I wanted to touch on was, have you guys seen Digital Foundry's look into the campaign that they did?
No.
I think they posted it over the weekend, or at least I watched the video yesterday. They touched on, and it sounds like it's all things that they could fix, and hopefully they fix by launch. But there were certain things that they pointed out in the campaign that it's not a huge deal. It just seemed like it was like pretty unpolished. Like one of them was the cutscenes, like the frame rates for the characters and the animations are kind of all over the place. Like the cutscene may run at like 60 FPS, but a character may move at like 24 or 30.
Super weird.
Yeah, so like everything just like looks like really off. And then apparently, if you're playing, like one of them was playing on an HDR TV, and like it was a cutscene, and like they have the black bars like at the top and bottom, and they like hadn't. It was like a pre-rendered video, and they hadn't like adjusted it for HDR properly. So it was like all the bars were like really gray, and everything was washed out and like looked really shitty. And it was like the first thing that they saw when they booted it up, because it's like the intro like video that plays or whatever
weird
at the beginning of the game, and they were like, I really hope they fix this, because it's like people are gonna boot this up and it's the first thing they see when they start this game, and they're gonna be like, why does it look like shit? But I don't know. I mean, hopefully they patch it out by the time the game comes out. They have a couple weeks. But yeah, it could be an old build, but I
mean, it is.
Yeah. But I heard that, and I just thought it was funny.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really good video though. You should check it out. I don't know what it's called, but it's on Digital Foundry's channel.
Yeah, because I know that I'm jumping into it so soon, I haven't really watched anything about the campaign.
Yeah.
And like the information only started trickling out on that like very recently.
Yeah.
But yeah. Other than that, I finished Far Cry 6 today. Speaking of games that are going on my favorite games of the year list, and we're going to be talking about during our game of the year discussion, that one definitely goes on there for me.
Nice.
It's not to the extent of Deathloop, but there is a degree to which Far Cry 6 just kind of ends. Like it didn't end the way I expected it to end. I guess I will put it that way. But man, what a freaking game. Outside of the way that it treats like skills and perks, and the secret ending, both of which I preferred in Far Cry 4. I think this is my favorite Far Cry game. It's really, really good. I like the world. I like the characters. The gameplay is really, really good. The gunplay is good. The vehicles are good. You have a lot of freedom. Like having pets run around with you is really good. The fact that the entire game is multiplayer, like, game's awesome. Catch Fever for real.
Nice.
Like, yeah, it's a blast. And hey, if you're looking on weapon advice, or just stuff like that. I wrote the guide, so go check it out on IGN.com.
Hey, bow, bow, bow.
There's some really awesome weapons in that game.
Have either of you picked anything up during these Black Friday sales that are occurring?
I did today, actually.
Really?
Did you really?
Yeah. I bought Tales of Arise because it was like $20 off.
Oh.
And I've only played the first like 30 minutes on my lunch break, but I have a feeling I'm going to get sucked into that.
Nice.
It seems cool.
I may pick that one up when it's like $30,
Mhm.
20 or $30, something like that.
Somebody had it for 30.
I want to try it because I know so many of my friends and people really like it. And I kind of fell off of Scarlet Nexus, so I was like, well, I'll try this one because everybody says this one's better. But yeah, I haven't picked up anything yet, but I'm open to it.
Yeah.
I actually bought like a couple of other things. Like I just bought since I bought my electronic kit, I haven't had a drum throne. I've just been using Audrey's piano bench, and so I bought one last night. I'm buying a bike tomorrow. I got as I showed it off, I got my 20th anniversary Xbox controller. Thank you, Chris, for letting me know that it was available.
Yep.
Even
on my wedding day, I've got notifications turned on for Wario 64, man.
this guy. Oh, also, I'm just gonna wheel back for a second to show you guys this shirt.
Oh, nice. That's
It's
cool.
Explore Zeebs, and it's a picture of Samus's ship taking off into the sky with clouds beneath, but it also, if you kind of unfocus your eyes, looks like a Metroid.
Yeah, in the shape of a Metroid. That's cool.
Really, really cool. So I got like 5 different colors of this shirt because I like it.
Who
It's
made
really
that?
comfortable
Where'd
as
that come
well.
from?
Shit, I do not know. Hold on, let
I
me.
didn't know if it
just
was like
take my fucking clothes off.
Fangamer or something like that.
I don't know.
No.
Audrey found it for me. Or no. I saw it on Twitter or something like that, and I think I sent it to her. Actually, you know what? I can look that up real quick. It's the t-shirt company is Canvas, but I will scroll up and see if I can find that. I want to talk about Pokemon a little bit later, but you guys can pick it up and talk about whatever you want first.
I did the thing that I do every year at Black Friday. And I bought all the
games you're not going to play.
I bought all the games that I've been waiting to buy that I'm not going to play. So I got Monkey Ball, Resident Evil Village, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Guardians of the Galaxy, and Deathloop for PC.
The Metroid Explorer Zeebs t-shirt is via TeePublic.
Oh yeah,
TeePublic.
They got good stuff.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, I need it.
Walmart had both of the new Pokemon releases digital for $70, like total for both of them. So I picked that up. I started playing Pearl. Jess picked up Diamond.
Cool.
So, how's that? Is it a nice nostalgic romp?
Well, you know what's funny? I never played Gen 4.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, so it's
wow. I'm the only one.
It's completely new to me.
I played through Diamond, and then when the 3rd version, Platinum, came out, I played the hell out of that one.
Yeah.
So I've actually played it.
Platinum's like
twice.
very, very good.
It is. That's the one where Giratina is the thing. So like, there's a whole thing where you deal with Giratina, which was like, honestly, one of my favorite legendaries in a really long time.
And I imagine that's not in these.
I
haven't heard whether or not.
I think
they have it in there.
I think Giratina is in Diamond also, or at the very least is mentioned. But like Giratina is like the main drive of Diamond.
How to catch all legendary Pokemon. Giratina is in these games. Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't think they would have it in there.
Yeah, but then they're like the focal point, and in Platinum they kind of like unify
both of them.
The games.
Yeah,
and like
Crystal
did
the
which
same
I love.
thing.
I love those.
Yeah.
So I actually bypassed that whole thing because I was just like, and you probably saw this if you follow me on Twitter, but I was like, yo, time for confession. I've played every Pokemon game except for Gold and Silver. Should I buy this new Brilliant Diamond and, this remake of a game that I've already played twice effectively? Or should I pick up Heart Gold or Soul Silver? And like the vast majority of people were like, yes, are you nuts? Play Soul Silver and Heart Gold.
Yeah.
So I picked up, so they're like wildly overpriced apparently, like for the cartridges.
If you have a complete in-box copy, like I have a complete in-box Heart Gold, they go for like $400 now on eBay.
Yeah.
And like not even like sealed.
Yeah. So I just got it on my emulator.
There you go.
So I got Soul Silver and I started playing through it. I think I've played like 14 hours right now.
Yeah.
I've beaten the first 2 gyms and I've got like a whole team going.
That's my favorite Pokemon game. Like period.
So far, like I get it. It's good.
I haven't played the remakes, but I played the originals.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then you can answer a question for me because I've been trying to figure out how much they added into this game. How much of this was stuff they added into the franchise for Gold and Silver, and how much of it was stuff that future games did that they incorporated into Heart Gold and Soul Silver. So, did you have berries?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a really long time since I've played it, but
did you give your Pokemon items to hold that would do stuff?
Yes. Because you had to give like Slowking or Slowpoke a King's Rock to get Slowking and stuff like that. Like that's when all that was introduced.
Okay.
I don't remember that, but I'm.
And then the phone call thing and
the phones were in it. The phones were a thing in the game because you would beat the trainers and they would like give you their phone number, and then when you were playing later, they'd like call you and you'd go rematch them, and their Pokemon would be like evolved and stuff.
Dude, I had an amazing conversation with one of the people that called me on the phone, and I was like, "This is fucking Goatee material right here." So I fought this fisherman on the docks, right?
It's like, you killed my fish.
Yep.
And he gave me his phone number. And then he just randomly called me at like midnight or 12:30 in the morning and was like, hey,
you up?
Brian, what's going on? How you doing? I just wanted to say, lately I've been spending so much time with Goldeen. I've been spending more time with my Goldeen Pokemon than I have with my own kids. I guess that's a bad thing. All right, I'll talk to you later. And I was like, what the fuck?
Love that. It was
that was
random.
amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are you spending more time with your fish than your children, man? Go home. Be a family man.
My goodness.
No, I mean, part of it,
but I was like, this is amazing.
Part of it, too, with Silver and Soul Silver. Like, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, they were better versions of those original games, like just graphically, control wise, and then like I think like they made berries better, like they grow in real time, if you plant them anywhere and things like that.
The dude makes the Pokeballs in real time. He's like, come back tomorrow, and I'm like, what?
Yep.
And there's like time tracking and stuff. Like
they had that.
The amount of expanding of the systems that they did from Red and Blue to Gold and Silver is bonkers.
Yeah.
And the fact that the series basically never expanded beyond that, seemingly. Like, they added, like, in Ruby and Sapphire, they added, like, beauty contests, but it was just a bunch of garbage I didn't care about.
Right.
Like, this was all stuff that, like, fed into the main...
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like,
they had breeding and stuff.
They added, like, core mechanics to the gameplay that, like, have, existed throughout and ever since.
Yeah.
Gold and Silver,
breeding
man.
in the first game, but they literally start the... Like, you could never engage with it. And they start you off, like, one of the first things they do is give you an egg that you walk around with and then hatch it. And then you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So like I see it.
There's that. There's, the legendaries in that game are super fun to get. Like,
we'll see. I'm not there yet.
Not even just like Ho and Lugia. Like the Reggies are super fun.
I know that the legendary dogs are like renowned
Yeah, the
being like a lot of
legendary
people's
dogs,
favorite.
Latios and Latias. Like, there's so, or no, Latios and Latias might have been.
That's
Ruby
Latios and
Sapphire.
Latias is Ruby and Sapphire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But the legendary dogs, they're super fun to get.
and the Regis are also
then-
from Sapphire and Ruby. The Regice, Registeel,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
And then I imagine you know what happens when you beat Silver.
It's been spoiled many times
Yeah,
for me,
so, like-
which is unfortunate, but whatever.
Which, like,
I mean, it was a big. It was
it was a
crazy
huge
when you
deal.
were a kid and it happened.
And
but
it was
yeah.
like,
it's like
oh my
Symphony of the
God.
Night. Like everybody knows, even if you haven't played Symphony, of the
Yeah.
Night, you know, or even
You
if
know
you
about
haven't
the
watched Star
castle.
Wars, or even if you haven't watched The Sixth Sense, like
Right.
just people just know.
Yeah. But like, yeah, that game's incredible.
So I mean, I'm looking forward to that moment because that kind of makes this like, as somebody for whom, like, I mean, when we did our favorite games of all time, like Red, Blue, and Yellow was on there for me. So
Yeah.
like, if this just has that, then like I think de facto this would.
It's like
be
it
that.
kind of does. It's almost like an epilogue. It has like an epilogue to Red and Blue
Yeah.
in a way.
Interesting.
Um,
Yeah, I'm excited to experience it. I actually jumped into Eastward. Wonderful friend of the show and former guest host Ronnie Barrier bought me one of the games off of my wish list as a congratulations for getting my full-time status with IGN. And so I jumped into Eastward, which is the game that he picked up for me. And I had been playing like SoulSilver, and then I hopped into this, and it has like an absolutely gobsmackingly incredible intro, and the music is outstanding. I'm literally watching the intro cinematic for Eastward, and I'm like, I need the soundtrack, and I need it immediately. I need it right now. And I don't care really about soundtracks for games that much.
Yeah.
And then I started playing it, and it was like, there's a CRT filter on it, and I'm like, fuck. And then I went back to play Pokemon, and I was like, God damn it, I should not have done that, because now I just want to play this other game.
Mhm.
Yeah. Are you playing on your emulator? Are you playing in single screen or dual? Like, I always have a hard, and this is why I've never gone back and played SoulSilver, because I don't want to play it on a handheld, but I also don't want to play it on like a TV where the DS emulator is like top and bottom or left and right, and it looks real shitty.
I'm playing it left and right. I'm playing it on my laptop.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. And I actually found out that you can just use your mouse for the
Oh yeah, you can just
touch
click
stuff,
on it. Yeah.
which is like really cool. I got stuck on a puzzle, and then I had to look up like, how do you rotate the pieces in these puzzles? Like, this is clearly not working, and like you have to like double tap it and stuff. So I had to get a little fiddly with that, but it's working.
Nice.
I had one like weird visual glitch, but other than that, it runs totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to play more of it. Everybody was talking about how gold and silver were good, and I get it. So
They are
I
good.
may I say this now and I won't go back
won't.
and play one of them when the Analog Pocket comes out.
yeah, right. And right now I'm using Quilava, Wooper, Mareep, Hoot Hoot, the Togepi that hatches out of the egg, and then my last one is that flying grass one that you get that looks like I named
Hoppip?
it Little Demon because it's a little red dude that flies around.
Yeah, hop it.
Yeah, using that
Who's
one.
your starter?
Quilava, the
Oh,
little,
okay. Yeah,
little spiky
Cyndaquil.
fire dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's leveled up once. I had Onyx on my team for a while, but I'm trying to use. I've never had Onyx on my team, and he's really good. And you get him in a trade, so he like levels up really fast.
Yeah.
He actually, I had a very tense moment where I was literally the only person in the flying gym that was able to fight against these people was Onyx,
Yeah.
and he like the boss totally destroyed all my other Pokemon. Onyx is the only one left, and he leveled up to the point where he stopped listening to me in the fight.
Oh, wow.
And then
Is that
on
against
the last,
the Miltank?
No. This is the Pidgeotto,
Oh, okay.
but it still like hurts like hell on everything else. But
Yeah.
it's like, and he's got really high defense, and he's got good defense against flying stuff. But it was like he's loafing around. He's not doing this move. He's doing something else. And I was just like, come on, dude! Like I really
I
need you to
come in
win
clutch now. Yeah.
because if not, I'm going to fucking die here. Like, the stakes are never really that high with Pokemon, but it was still like tense because I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
my God, he's wiped my entire team. Nobody else can fight him. that sort of stuff, which is fun.
I think that's why I'm excited for to keep playing Pearl, because apparently, like, it is very much just like a direct remake of that game. Like, it's not like a Let's Go. Like, Let's Go was super easy. I thought Sword and Shield. I thought the difficulty in Sword and Shield was kind of all over the place. Like
Sun and Moon was like consistently difficult though.
Sun and Moon was hard. Like that was a pretty difficult game. But I'm excited to get into one that that I haven't played and that has a little bit more challenge to it. But people need to calm down on the internet with like the way that this game looks. I think the main complaint that I have right now is the soundtrack is not great. Like not even just like the compositions, like the orchestrations and all that, but like the quality of the sound of the soundtracks is like doesn't sound good. Like it's almost annoying. At least so far it has been.
Almost annoying.
Like there are certain songs that I'm like, this isn't even a good song. Like it's not like going into like I mean, Lavender Town's scary, but like that was just the first one I thought of. But or like Cerulean City or like any of them, where they have these like really memorable tunes. Like this one, none of them are sticking out. Or like none of them are like cool. I want to hear an orchestrated version of that and like listen to that while I'm working or whatever. Like it's
not
all
gonna happen
forgettable.
with this
Yeah.
one, yeah.
But
That's a shame.
yeah, but I'm enjoying my time with it at least.
I kind of find that other than the whole Giratina thing in Diamond, like I don't really remember that game at all.
I mean, they all start to blend together eventually.
I mean, but like I remember Red and Blue. I remember Ruby and Sapphire for sure because I played that one for like almost 400 hours because I got really big into breeding in that one specifically.
Hang on.
I wonder what this episode's going to be called.
I got really.
we got
really
some
into
good
breeding.
ones. We got some good. Now, fun. I think that may have been. I may have said this before, and that may have been. I think there's a previous episode of this show that's called Brian got really into breeding in college or something like that.
Interesting.
I think that may go back and see if I'm right. If I'm right, I'm very impressed with myself. I'm gonna
look.
say.
I'm gonna look while we're.
But yeah, like I remember, I guess Black and White kind of blends together a little bit. But I remember X and Y.
I never played Black and White or X and Y. I haven't played any since Ruby.
Yeah, I remember X and Y. I remember Sun and Moon. I remember Sword and Shield, I guess, a little bit. I think Sword and Shield's probably going to be one of those forgettable ones. But I really liked X and Y.
X and Y, I think, were the last ones that I really fell in love with. I did not like Sword and Shield.
I fell off of Pokemon for a while, but like when X and Y was coming out, I was like, I don't know what it is about this, but like I was there. Like I went there. I actually like was late to work. That was back when I worked at the mortgage company. I like went in early to get Y.
Yeah.
Like, and like I really like Xerneas and Yveltal. The legendaries are like really cool.
Like I'm still upset that they never did like a Z of those games. Because I totally would have played
that. Would have been awesome, yeah.
Because like I loved that game.
That was really, really good.
Yeah.
And it was like all French and stuff, which is cool.
Yep.
That's really, really cool. I do really like the Hawaiian vibe in Sun and Moon, but I'm excited to see what the new Pokemon games will do when we're not always playing remakes.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Well, doesn't Azurius come out in like February or something like that?
Yeah. Arceus.
The Legends
or
Pokemon
Azurius
Legends
or whatever
Arceus.
it's called. Arc.
Yeah, it's Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
Arceus. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if it's good. I hope it's good. They're doing interesting stuff.
I want everything to be good.
Yeah.
But with Pokemon, other than the card game, which I play still on occasion because it's freaking excellent, I haven't engaged with it as much just because I feel like they're not really giving me what I maybe want. But
yeah,
I don't know. I thought about dipping into this one, but then I was like, do I really want to turn my Switch on right now? And I was like, not really. So
I was just thinking about that last night.
Lately. Like more than I expected it to be.
Yeah. I just like all the stuff I want to play is not on there right now. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't.
Yeah,
really...
everything I want to play is basically like on PC.
Mhm.
And so I was literally crawling into bed last night, and I had my Switch with me, and I'm like, I don't even know why I brought this up here, because like there's nothing I want to play on it, like other than like just going into the lab in Dragon Ball or something and just trying to figure out new combos or something. Like,
do you play
everything I
video
wanna play
games in
is-
bed a lot?
No, almost never.
Yeah, I
But
don't
I was just
either.
like I just
I
like
stopped.
had it with me. Typically I just read. Like I'll read.
I don't
a
even
little
do
bit.
that. I
I
go
try
lay in
not
bed
to.
when I'm like, I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
To me, bed is for two things, and if I'm not doing either of those two things, then I would rather be in a place that is more conducive to doing those whatever I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
But like a lot of times Audrey will read, and so like I just want to be with her, so I'll just do something.
Yeah.
But I was up there, and I brought my Switch with me, and I had my phone and stuff like this, and I was just like, I really wish that the freaking Steam Deck was out, because that would be fucking perfect. Because I want to play. I would play, Eastward. I would play, I don't know. Like I would play other stuff that was more what I wanted.
I would play Owlboy, since I've been waiting to play it for 5 years or whatever.
Yeah, it's like, I would play Resident Evil 2 remake. Like I would play the stuff that I want to play.
It's gonna be really funny when the Steam Deck comes out and you still don't play those games.
I see, but here's the thing. That's literally the first thing I'm gonna do when I get it. Is I'm gonna load it up with it, because I have
the same thought as well. Like I genuinely do, but like
But of the two of us, I play my backlog games and you don't.
I don't.
don't.
I've gotten better lately.
So of the two of us, I am definitely the more likely to actually do this.
Yeah.
So like I'm looking at this right now, and I'm looking right here on my Steam library to play games: Blasphemous, Danganronpa 3, Dark Deity, Death's Gambit Afterlife, Eastward, Skyrim Special Edition, Elder Souls, Half-Life 2, Neo 2, Resident Evil 2, Wargroove. Most of those games are really good handheld. They're just not big destination games. Like, if I am on my PC, something really powerful, I don't really want to be playing Blasphemous, because it's a 2D side scroller.
I'm with you there. Like, I don't want to play like Spiritfarer or something on my PC.
Yeah, like these would be great games to just like pick up, and if I'm going to the bathroom, or if I'm sitting at the table, at the lunch table, waiting for Riley to finish her lunch, but like I don't really have anything to do, and I don't really want to carry my laptop around everywhere. Like I can just grab my Steam Deck. Like, I'm telling you, I think this thing is just gonna be like the thing. Cause like Danganronpa, that is a perfect handheld game. But like I don't really want to like pull out my laptop or be on my desktop to play it.
Yeah.
You know? So that's
no,
just
I have,
like
I have
the
plenty
thing.
of games like that. But I think the reason and don't get me wrong, I'm getting a Steam Deck.
And feel free to come back and I told you so if that doesn't happen.
No, I think honestly the reason I say that is like there are plenty of games that I already own, that I own on Switch, that I had the same thought about, where it's like when Jess is watching her baking shows and I don't want to be sitting at my desk, this will be the perfect game to play for that. And 9 times out, and maybe it's because of what else is on the Switch, but like 9 times out of 10, if I am doing that, I'm playing Mario Galaxy, I'm playing Mario Golf, like I'm playing Nintendo titles on those systems. I'm not playing Hyper Light Drifter and Hollow Knight and Guacamelee. Like I'm not playing any of those games, and I don't know what it's going to take for me to finally do that. But I don't think the Steam Deck.
You're probably just not going to do it.
Exactly. I just don't think I'm going to do it at this point. But that's
the realization I had, where it's like there's all these things I want to do, but then you think about it and you're like,
if I
am I ever actually going to sit down and do this?
Right, like
if I really wanted to do it, I would have
done it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
I think the thing for me is that like I've gotten to the point where it being something that I want to do isn't enough. It has to be something that I want to do in the way that I can do it. So like, I like playing fighting games. A lot of fighting games are exclusive to PS5. I don't really like the PS5 controller. That's not good enough. I'm not going to settle for that. So I'm just going to play on PC where I can play with what I want.
Yeah.
And so the thing for me is like, if it's not in a form factor that I want, or it's on Switch and it just doesn't run that well, or it's a cloud version of something, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to do it where I can do it the way I want to. So
yeah, and I get that, but I think that's different than what I'm talking about. Like,
sure,
the Shovel Knight expansions, like, while very good, I've never beaten a single one.
Oh, really?
No,
I never have either.
Yeah,
the only one I haven't
very
beaten
far.
is the only one I haven't beaten is King of Cards, and I don't like the way he controls as well as the other two. I beat the rest of them.
Yeah,
they're great.
Yeah, like I enjoyed what I played of them, but like even every couple months I dip back into it for an hour or two, and I'm just like, all right, like and I just leave, and that's fine.
Are you making progress, or are you just dipping?
I might play a level, like I might beat a level, and then I'm just like, okay, like I got what I came for, and then I just leave. And I think I do that with a lot of games, but that's just also, I play whatever I feel like playing at that time.
Which is
you
awesome.
get in moods.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. It's whatever you're in the mood for.
And you're just like, I really want to play like a puzzle game, and then you're like on Tetris for like 3 hours.
Yeah, well, it happened. Resident Evil 7 was the perfect example of like, I'm ready to play a Resident Evil game, and sure as shit, that's all I did for that week.
And a lot of people talk trash about like Far Cry 6 and it just being another one of those, but you guys definitely remember me talking about it. Like, I was in the mood. I was ready for that game.
And that
like
happens.
One of the biggest bummers was that like I got, just like for work, got pulled off of Far Cry to work on Call of Duty, which is more important this year. That sort of a thing, covering that sort of a thing is more important. But Far Cry 6 doesn't have save states or save games. So like I couldn't just play to the end in my spare time, like if I wanted to, and then just go back and do it for work, because like if you finish it, that's it. You can't redo missions. So I was just like, well, that kind of sucks. Like I really want to play this game, but like for whatever reason, I can't do it.
I've said this before on the show, and I still don't have the answer. Who is spending full price on Ubisoft games in November? On November 1st, I'll say that.
I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the last Ubisoft game I bought.
Like,
wait, hold on.
Riders Republic came out 3 weeks ago, and it's already $25 because of Black Friday. Like, who bought that game at full price at launch?
I don't know.
Hold on. I really have to know. Josh has piqued my interest.
I couldn't tell you, dude. I have no idea.
And I
what
have
the
to
last...
It's got to be The Division.
I have to know what the
so
last game I bought
ago.
Or The Division 2. That was probably the last one that you bought.
But that was like...
Did you play Valhalla?
No.
It's got to be that.
Okay, I did not buy Valhalla. I didn't buy Riders Republic. I didn't get Watch Dogs Legion. I didn't get Rainbow Six. I got Far Cry 6
I own
for
Rainbow
work.
6 already.
What would you have played it on, Josh?
Division 2?
Oh, any Ubisoft game on PlayStation or on PC?
I mean, it depends on when it came out, right? But it would have been a console. Other than like Division 2, I have on PC.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. So I got Far Cry 6 for work. I did not play Valhalla. I got Division 2 for work. I got Assassin's Creed Odyssey for testing what would become that Stadia. For what would become Stadia, I got a free copy of Odyssey, so I didn't pay for that. I reviewed Assassin's Creed Origins for this show as like one of the first games that I got a review code for, so I didn't buy that. Jesus Christ, was the last game that I bought of Ubisoft's like The Division 1? It might have been.
Yeah, I think Division 2 I bought right when...
And I got Far Cry 4 on sale.
Or like kind of right between the in-between period when I was laid off and then before I started at GameSpot. So I bought that and just played it for like 2 weeks straight, and then I have never touched it again. I can't even think of the last Ubisoft game I bought.
It's nuts.
Besides
so yeah,
that.
the last Ubisoft game I bought at full price was The Division 1. And
that's insane.
I was still in the apartment when that came out.
Yeah.
Now you're a homeowner.
Now
and
I'm a
the only
homeowner
reason
and
that I
married.
bought the only reason that I bought that one was because at the time I was playing a lot of multiplayer games on Xbox with one of my coworkers, Matt Skinner. Shout out to him, longtime friend, the first friend that I made in Texas actually. And like it was big multiplayer. It was just we were doing Destiny, and then The Division was coming out, and he was like, "Yo, The Division."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Okay, let's do
It's
it."
gonna be sick, and then it
We're
was
gonna, we're gonna
fine.
play it together, and then we played through it, and then did like one dip into the dark zone and like maybe one raid, and then I was like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I don't really want to be on
And
this grind.
I think that every Black Friday when games go on sale. Last year it was Phoenix Rising, Immortals Phoenix Rising. That game was like $25 and it had just come out, and I was
and
like,
you're like, ooh.
I was like, do I want to get this? But then also I was like, who bought this for $60 and is kicking themselves right now? Like because there's people out there that are doing it, and it happens
it happens all the time.
fucking year with Ubisoft.
I mean, that's why I waited on Tales of Arise a bit, because I was like, if I still want this later, like I'll wait for the inevitable Black Friday sale. And then when I saw that it was on sale, I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
This will be a good, like, when I can't, when I'm on vacation, winter vacation, I can kind of plow through this.
Yeah.
Oh, also, quick aside, this has been really surreal to see all these deals popping up, because this is the first time I have not worked an IGN Black Friday in a minute.
This is the first time I haven't worked Black Friday in 2 years, 2 or 3 years. And previous to that, I had worked the IGN ones. So
IGN staffers have Thursday and Friday off if you're not working commerce and like actually working the thing. And so I'm actually going to have Thanksgiving off for the first day in years.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. But
I have Saturday, Sunday, but I'm off Thursday, Friday.
I'm curious what is on sale that I either don't have or don't.
My thing now is if it's something that I feel like I really want, then I'll get it. But most of the time, 9 times out of 10, every time I would see like a PSN sale and it'd be like mega sale, things up to 60% off, I would just scroll and scroll and scroll and be like, I'm not gonna play this.
The PSN sales I never even look at anymore.
Yeah.
But the Black Friday is when I'm like there are games that I look at in the beginning of the year. Resident Evil was the perfect example, where I was like, I haven't beaten 7, and I know this game is going to be on sale on Black Friday. I will buy it when it's $20. And sure as shit, that's exactly what happened. And I was like, perfect.
Oh, I'm looking at the IGN Walmart deals right now, and I'm scrolling through this list, and I think the only thing on here that I would buy is the new Guardians game, which is like on PS5 for $35.
You know what I impulse bought, and I
people have said that it's good, so
yeah, I may end up returning it. I don't know I don't think either of you have played it. Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
I've never played any of those games.
I never played a Xeno Chronicles game,
but I know
I've heard they're good.
Yeah, people that play them really like them. But I did get that.
That's definitely one of those fan of the genre type things.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I need an anime game.
If you want a really cheap looking Japanese RPG, this is the one for you.
I need a weeb game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's a Back to the Future Playmobil. Now I'm just shopping.
Yeah. The only thing that I've seen that's on sale that like I'm interested in that I haven't already played or don't have access to is probably that. Other than that, I'm probably just gonna look up like, what were the GOTY contenders,
that I haven't played
at all the outlets that I haven't played that looked interesting that I just didn't get around to.
Yeah.
Did we want to end the show now, or did we want to dip into talking about the Game Awards nominees?
I mean, we're getting near an hour and a half, I think.
We are.
109, I think, right now.
I mean, we can rip through. Just do Game of the Year. Don't do.
I'm curious. Yeah,
don't do every category.
I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. Well, I will do Game of the Year, and then I think I will tab over to like the indie ones, because I think there are a few notables that are on my list that are in that space.
Yeah, I just don't want to go nuts.
No. We'll do it real quick. But so the Game Awards have come out with their nominees for Game of the Year, which is kind of surprising because it doesn't have a lot of people's favorite games of the year.
Yeah.
And some of the games that are on there, some people have said, this doesn't really deserve to be on here.
I haven't even seen this list yet, so
I don't
Oh,
even
you
really
haven't?
put stock in the Game Awards, so
That's true. These are effectively like the Golden Globes,
yeah,
which is like the popularity contest that everybody knows is like not really whatever. Not to say that this is like there's anything underhanded like is going on with the Golden Globes with the Game Awards. It's just it's a lot of pomp and circumstance. It's fun. It's not as serious
just
as like the DICE Awards or the BAFTAs, which are like very like serious and more academic like awards and stuff.
It's also just a giant advertisement.
Sure. Yeah.
Like,
it's like the Super Bowl. Like you watch the Game Awards for the ads. But
I mean, I just don't watch it at all. But
their game of the year nominees this year are Deathloop from Arcane, It Takes Two from Hazelight, Mercury Steam's Metroid Dread, Resident Evil Village from Capcom, Insomniac's Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and Double Fine's Psychonauts 2. So those are the 6 nominees. Of those, the only 2 that I have played are Deathloop and Metroid Dread, which are on my favorites of 2021 list, but I don't think that either of them is like a 10.
What are people upset isn't there?
I think we'll get into that a little bit when I go over to the indies category because there's some real good shit over there.
Okay.
But
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Resident Evil's on that list.
Because I think some people were also surprised it was on that list because it's a good Resident Evil, but it's not like great.
It's not like the most groundbreaking one. I think visually it's the most impressive one from what I've seen of it, but that game was not like given tens, and like even Resident Evil fans are like not over the moon about that game.
Yeah, but it's also very mainstream.
Yeah,
I think we forget like Resident Evil is still pretty like mainstream.
Yeah.
So that might have that might have a part to play in it. I don't know how the Game Awards like they pick these things.
It's a panel of a lot.
I was gonna say it could literally just be Jeff Keighley, like just go, that seems good.
Yeah, there are people from IGN and a bunch of different outlets from around the world. I actually looked through all of the outlets, and there are, people from all over the place that vote on these.
So, Deathloop, Metroid, Resident Evil. Hit me with the other ones.
It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
It Takes Two. I think that game's very good. I think that game narratively that game has a lot of problems. For me, I'm probably 75% of the way through it, but like it's also a game that like I haven't been itching to get back to. Like Jess and I played a good portion of it when it came out, and we were very excited for it. I think she actually liked it more than I did. And it does some things very well gameplay wise, but I think story wise it's not that strong. Psychonauts,
and I've heard that like it's kind of disturbing if you like think about it too much. Like, with some of the stuff that's going on.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Like it's kind of fucked up. Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank's incredible. What's weird is like I feel like Deathloop.
That is one that like if I see that on sale, I may pick that one up.
You
and just
should
try
absolutely
Ratchet
pick that
again.
up. I think Deathloop has to win out of all of those. Like I think it's the only one of those that consistently scored tens on like every site. Not enough people played Psychonauts, and it's not critically loved or like beloved by millions of people.
It's not a darling. It's more of a cult hit, or at least the first one was. But by all accounts, the second one is very good. Like everybody I've heard of it that's played it has been like, wow, this game is amazing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It'd be cool if Metroid won. I don't think it will, but it would be really cool if it did.
I don't think it will either. But like, there are some things that I think that Metroid Dread does better than Deathloop. But at the same time, I feel like Deathloop is maybe a better experience overall.
People were going nuts over that game when that came out. I feel like it has to be that.
I guess, but like even at the same time, like it doesn't end very well. Like it doesn't have a strong ending. and whereas Metroid does.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. Deathloop doesn't have a lot of the aggravating elements that Dread had for me. So it's just like it's difficult for me to give a full-throated endorsement to either of them. Although I think that they are both very good.
Yeah, I feel like
so
there's like if it's not Deathloop,
there's no standout. I don't.
There isn't. That's what's weird. It's like they're all good. They're all very good games, but like there's not like the God of War. Like there's not this very obvious game.
There's not a Red Dead 2. There's not a. It's not a Journey or a Fortnite or whatever. It's not one of those years where like Overwatch came out and everybody fucking lost.
I don't know if it's just you guys, but I just feel like the last couple of years, nothing has really like made me lose my mind. I mean, other than like the last time I can think of that happening was God of War. Was the first time I was like really impressed, and I was like, the story is fantastic, and like everything about this game is so finely tuned and stuff, and it's so great. Like everything I've played since then, it's been like pretty good, but there's never any like I don't think I've played anything since then where I've been like, this is straight up game of the year, like hands down. Like now I honestly couldn't tell you what came out this year. I can't remember.
And I don't know how much of it is like we've played so much stuff that like you're just constantly making comparisons, or like we're just hard to please at this point. Like, you know,
I mean, let me tell you,
I think about that a lot though, sometimes where I'm like, man, if I had like the average, or just think of a random game that's a 7 now, right? And I'm like, if I had this when I like 10 years ago, I would have thought this was the most mind-blowing shit ever. But now it's like we're just
when I was in college, and like
have it.
One of me and my guy that lived across the quad from me, like we had a blast just playing Black on the original Xbox.
Oh yeah,
and it's like it's not like an amazing game, but like man, we just could not get enough of it, you know. Or like what?
Now,
or
if
like
that came out today, people would be like, "This sucks."
Or like Dead Rising, which is like okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like it's cool, but it's like not amazing. So, of some examples, last year, 2020, some of my favorite games of that year: Hades, The Last of Us Part 2, Demon Souls, Short Hike, Creature in the Well, Miles Morales, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, Persona 5 Royal, Spiritfarer came out. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Is it weird that like I already kind of feel like I'm in 2022? So when you said that 7 Remake was last year, I'm like, no, it wasn't. It was way longer than that. And I'm like, no, he's right. It was last year. April, it just feels so far away. It was like right when the pandemic, like right when lockdown hit. Yeah, it was like a month after.
Because they thought it was going to get delayed because of COVID. We were all like,
well, the physical releases did for a lot of people.
That's right.
Because then they started sending them out early, so people started getting like their like ultimate editions or whatever super early.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that I thought was interesting is, so reading through some of my favorite games from this year, which we talked about. Now, not all these came out, but like Super Mario World plus Bowser's Fury, Loop Hero, Guilty Gear Strive, Final Fantasy VII Intergrade, Hitman 3. Really surprises me that Hitman 3 is not on this list for Game of the Year.
Yeah, that is weird.
Because that game
reviewed very well.
I'm gonna just say, as somebody who really liked Deathloop and Metroid Dread, Hitman 3 is the complete package.
Yeah.
It has everything, and it doesn't do anything poorly. So I would say that is a better all-around experience.
Also, it's weird that Forza Horizon's not on there.
Yeah, like, I think there must have been some cutoff thing because, like,
don't they usually?
I thought it was November.
I figured that they would do like fiscal years or something.
Oh, maybe
I mean, this is why I don't
fiscal game of the year.
We're not gonna have a game of the year discussion until January because the year's not fucking over.
That happened. Yeah. Remember Smash Brothers? That happened. That came out in like the end of November or beginning of December, and everyone was like, "Smash Ultimate's game of the year," and they were like, "No, the reason it's not here is because." And then I think it lost to God of War. Because it like,
and then the next year they don't bring it up, right?
No. It was in the running for Game of the Year, but at that point, like a year had gone by, and like
that's why they're going by some like fiscal year
thing.
Like They're
But
probably
even-
like, you got till November something, and then you're done.
Yeah. Even so, it's surprising that Hitman's not on there.
Yeah, that was the one that kind of surprised me, and I didn't even think about it until I went back through my list. Freaking shout out to GG App for helping me keep all my games in one place. So if we go to best game direction, they add Returnal to the list. Then if we go to best narrative, they add Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy and Life is Strange: True Colors, which I've heard a lot of people say a lot of good stuff about. Art direction, Kena Bridge of Spirits is added. The Artful Escape also.
That game's supposed to be showing up soon. I forgot about that. I'm
best
dropping
music and
everything
score.
when it comes out. Or when that shows
Yeah,
up.
best music and score, Artful Escape, Cyberpunk 2077, and Near Replicant.
For what is that for?
Best score and music.
Oh, it could be Cyberpunk. That's like the one thing
So,
that game did well.
So Forza did not.
Y'all
miss
gotta play the
cutoff.
whole game. I'm sorry. Like all this stuff about like Cyberpunk sucks. I'm like, dude, Cyberpunk is like a solid 8 out of 10, and it's really good. And some of the stuff in it is phenomenally good. The problem is that a lot of people played it on a PS4,
You know
which they should never have done. I'm not excusing it. It looked unplayable, but
You know
I
what?
played it on my
Cyberpunk's on sale, I'll
PS5
pick
and it was
that up. I'll pick
perfectly
that up. Why
fine.
not?
What's funny about that game is like when it came out, I didn't have a 3080, and then I got the
Yeah.
3080 for VR, and I keep forgetting that I still own it. So
Yeah.
like I could definitely play it right now on a high-end PC,
Yeah.
and I just
And the,
haven't.
and the like next gen version's still not out,
Right.
so it probably look way
Well,
better
and
on
that's just it. And now I'm like, all right, what features are they going to add to the PC version when that comes
Yeah.
out? Because you know they're
Yeah.
going to. So I'm like, I'll just wait.
So
I'm telling people like you guys got to go back on better hardware and give it a chance, because like I beat the whole game and had almost no problems, and I'm like, this was a pretty good. I didn't like the ending, but it was a pretty good game, and some of the side missions are legitimately like phenomenally good.
Yeah.
And just like the world and the detail and everything is really great. But like I'm not excusing the fact that like the PS4 and Xbox One versions were unacceptable and should never have been released because they're terrible. They're
Yeah.
awful. But like
So I kept scrolling through, and when I hit best audio design, I realized Forza Horizon 5 did not miss Game of the Year because of a cutoff, because it's on here for best audio design.
It's so weird.
Uh,
I guess
Yeah,
they figure it won't win. So you just don't put it on there.
let's see, best performance. Okay,
maybe.
Like it's
Games for Impact. We got Boyfriend Dungeon and Chicory.
I just don't understand how you have all these games that get 10s from like every outlet and a Metacritic of like 95 and above, and they're like, nah, it's not a game of the year.
And they're not on there.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Then we get to best indie game. Now, there's one of these things is not like the other, but here's the list for best indie game. 12 Minutes, Death's Door, Inscription, Kena Bridge of Spirits, Loop Hero. All of those games, I've played all of those games except Kena and 12 Minutes. And Death's Door, Inscription, and Loop Hero fucking rip ass to the extreme. So I wish that Inscription was on Game of the Year. I could definitely see an argument being made for Death's Door on Game of the Year. That game is awesome. I don't think that Loop Hero is the type of game that would go to Game of the Year, but I think it's got everything you need to be the best game of the year. Like,
So-
that game does some really cool stuff.
What isn't in there that's an indie title that you want to be there? Is it Unpacking?
For best indie,
Yeah.
I would want Unpacking to be on best indie. Let's see what else. Maybe Toem or Forgotten City.
Actually, I'm surprised Forgotten City's not on there.
I'm kind of surprised that Lost Words isn't on Games for Impact. Lost Words Beyond the Page, because that one's about
Oh,
dealing with death. That was the one that I was
yeah,
like,
you loved that game.
yeah, it was awesome. Then there's like a bunch of other stuff. Best action game, where they bring in, stuff like Back 4 Blood and all that sort of stuff. Best action adventure. But yeah, and then you got to go all the way to best role playing to get Cyberpunk is under role playing. That's crazy.
Yeah,
It's an
It's an
RPG.
RPG.
Tales of Rise. I thought it was a shooter
It's an
with RPG elements and stuff.
no, it's an RPG.
No, it's
with
an
shooter
RPG with
elements.
shooting in it.
Yeah, but then you get like Strive is on fighting games and like other stuff like that. But yeah, like I'm really surprised. Like Forza Horizon 5 is definitely on best sports and racing, but like
What else is
not
on
on-
that?
best sports and racing, F1 2021, FIFA 2022, Hot Wheels Unleashed, Riders Republic, Forza Horizon 5.
I would love if Hot Wheels beat Forza. It totally won't, but like
But it's apparently super good.
that game's supposed to rip
it would
ass.
be
I
funny.
I can't wait to play that.
Yeah. And then best debut and indie. And then you've got Forgotten City, which I think it won't win because I think Kena will win because more people play on PlayStation.
Yeah,
But Valheim, Sable, Artful Escape, Forgotten City, and Kena Bridge of Spirits.
I wish I liked Valheim.
Debut indies. But yeah. So I thought that was interesting. Like there are a couple of really awesome indie games and racing games, and I know that Will, who was on the last episode, definitely thinks that Guilty Gear should be on Game of the Year, and like I can't really argue with him. It's great.
Yeah,
But there's only a number of slots, so I'm really curious to see what will happen when we get kind of the broader discussion happening at your IGNs, your GameSpots, these sorts of places where they have more than 6 nominees, and we see all the games that get nominated, because there were a lot of really great games that came out this year. They just weren't all big destination pieces like we see here.
yeah.
So I'm excited to see representation from Loop Hero and all these sorts of things. Bummed to not see Toem on any of these lists, because that was definitely one of my favorites. And No Unpacking, which I think was really a great game. And like obviously the fact that like games like Halo Infinite didn't hit the cutoff, but will definitely be out before the end of the year, just kind of is annoying to me. But we'll talk about all of that in January when we do our Game of the Year, because the year will actually be over. So. But yeah, anybody have any thoughts about any of that stuff? Is there anything that you would have wanted to see on here, or anything that you think is weird is included?
Most of the stuff I played this year is old, so
There was a lot of that for me as well.
I was like, I don't know.
I'm just going through. I started a GG app
Yeah.
page as well.
Tell the people, what is it? ggapp.io/Strives93? Hey.
The problem is a lot of what I played is either in VR or is old. Like for my game of the year, like one of my games for game of the year this year will be Swarm, and no one has played it. Like that game.
That's that Spider-Man game, yeah?
Yeah, that game is fucking incredible, and like no one's played it.
Yeah.
But everyone.
One of these days, I'll get a VR rig. I'm telling you.
Everyone that I know that has played it, which is like one other person, was like, "This is like my favorite Quest 2 game," and no one talks about it. It's so addictive.
There's not a lot of VR representation in the industry right now.
No, because unfortunately, like you need a high end. You either need a Quest 2 or a high end PC.
And PlayStation VR 2 is coming.
I think. I don't know. I said this last time, but like, I think when PSVR 2 comes out for PS5, I would like to think that that's when it'll start to take off. Like, it's not that there's a shortage of people that own VR. I know lots of people that have a Quest 2. It's just they're not playing things other than Vader Immortal and Beat Saber. Like they're not going beyond that. Some of them. I know one other person that's played Resident Evil 4 VR, but yeah, for the most part, it's a lot of like just licensed content that they know.
Yeah, which is fine.
Which is
that's
how
what
it
you
goes.
get at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's all I got. So we wrap.
Same. Let's do it.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and people of all kinds, for joining us for episode 207 of The Platformers. If you like this sort of stuff, then you can hit us up on social media. You can find me at twitter.com/Ribnax, which is spelled RIBNAX. NAX.
You can find me on Twitter at the Jawa Josh. I don't tweet that much, but if you want to see the cool video essay stuff that I'm working on, you can go to youtube.com/mediaismythic.
You can find me at Shrives93, and you can tell me why I should or should not purchase Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, because it's 50% off for Black Friday, and I want to see my cats chase it around my living room.
I mean, that seems like a good enough reason to just do it.
What if they just
like
don't
that.
care?
I don't know. They will. I don't know if it will drive on the carpet is my concern. But
The wheels are big enough; it'll drive anywhere.
Anyway, you can find us all corporately at Platformers Pod on Twitter. You can watch us record each episode of this show live on Twitch at twitch.tv/platformerspod, and we archive all of these episodes at youtube.com/platformerspod. If you like the show, please share it with friends, family, strangers as you're standing at the street corner waiting for the crossing light to turn green. Just do it. Why not? What are they going to do? The worst they can do is stab you to death.
Or walk away.
So don't even... Yeah, or walk away, which is probably what they'll do. But yeah, you can also review us on your podcast platform of choice, and we really appreciate that. From everybody here at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week, and stay safe out there, because until next time, we are out.
Boy.
Boy.